When it comes to high-performance Japanese sports cars, few names evoke as much reverence as the Nissan GT-R. Dubbed Godzilla, this beast has earned its monstrous nickname by tearing through racetracks, dominating rivals, and setting the gold standard for automotive engineering. With a legacy of brutal performance, technological innovation, and an iconic design, the GT-R has become more than just a car. It's a legend. Among the many special and limited edition GT-Rs, one stands above the rest: the 1995 Nissan R33 GT-R LM, the rarest GT-R ever built. This isn't just another rare car story. This is the story of a one-of-a-kind machine built not for the road, not for the showrooms, but for racing immortality. It is a story of a car so exclusive that even the former Nissan chairman, Carlos Ghosn, wasn't allowed to sit behind the wheel. The R33 GT-R LM is not just rare, it's untouchable.
It's a Nissan R33 GT-R LM.
Hit the like button if you love cars as much as we do, and subscribe to our Gearhead community for more thrilling car content. Before we dive into the R33 GT-R LM, it's important to understand why the GT-R badge holds such weight. The GT-R story begins with the Nissan Skyline, a humble sedan that became a motorsport legend in the late 1960s. By the time the R32 GT-R launched in 1989, the GT-R had transformed into a technological powerhouse, boasting all-wheel drive, a twin turbocharged RB26 DET inline 6 engine, and advanced electronics that allowed it to dismantle supercars costing twice as much. It was the R32 that earned the Godzilla nickname from the Australian press. This title stuck as the GT-R evolved through the R33, R34, and eventually the R35 generations. Each model pushed boundaries, combining raw power with surgical precision and technological advancements that embarrassed European rivals. The GT-R became the ultimate sleeper, a car that could attack a track on Sunday and carry groceries on Monday. But among all these legends, the 1995 R33 GT-R LM stands alone, not just as a rare GT-R, but as the rarest of them all. A car that wasn't built for the public, wasn't built for profit, but solely to conquer the 24 hours of Le Mans. During the late 1980s and early 1990s, Nissan had competed with high downforce prototypes like the R87E, R88C, R89CK, and the iconic R90CK, which set a pole-worthy qualifying lap at the 1990 Le Mans 24 Hours. With Mark Blundell behind the wheel. However, rule changes in the early 90s forced many manufacturers to abandon their Group C programs. But instead of retreating, Nissan doubled down. In the mid-1990s, Nissan set its sights on one of motorsport's most prestigious events, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Manufacturers were required to produce road-legal versions of their race cars to compete in the GT class. While most brands would slap on a few modifications to meet the requirements, Nissan went all in. The R33 GT-R LM was built on the foundation of the Skyline GT-R, but it was an entirely different animal. It was designed to be Nissan's endurance racer, and to do so, they needed to produce a single road-legal car. That's right, just one. This wasn't about creating a limited-run collector's item. It was about satisfying the stringent rules of Le Mans. Officially registered in the UK, the R33 GT-R LM was never publicly marketed. It was a means to an end, a loophole in the rulebook, and a car that would become the ultimate JDM unicorn. To call the R33 GT-R LM aggressive would be an understatement. The car looks like it's in attack mode even while standing still. The R33's already imposing frame was widened, given larger fender flares, a front splitter sharp enough to slice through the air, and a massive rear wing that could double as an aircraft stabilizer. The R33 GT-R LM featured a longer wheelbase and a lower stance than the standard R33 GT-R, giving it a crouched, predatory appearance. These elements weren't just for show. They played crucial roles in boosting aerodynamics and performance. The fenders were 50mm wider at all corners than the standard R33, giving the car a broader, more stable footprint. The deep front splitter, lowered chin, and bonnet vents weren't just design flourishes. They improved airflow, reduced drag, and helped keep the engine cool during intense racing conditions. Inside, the R33 GT-R LM maintained a no-nonsense approach. The cabin was purpose-built, focusing on performance and functionality. The interior featured single-piece front bucket seats, offering the driver exceptional support during spirited driving. The Nismo Alcantara-rimmed 3-spoke steering wheel added a touch of motorsport heritage.
R33 GT-R LM. It'd be so cool to find
At the same time, the overall use of durable black plastics and practical upholstery reinforced the car's focused and driver-centric design. If you've ever played Gran Turismo, you've seen this car.
It was converted to rear-wheel drive for the racing series, and when it was done, it came over here to the Amori.
The R33 GT-R LM is a virtual legend, appearing in every iteration of the game and becoming a digital icon for racing enthusiasts worldwide. The R33 GT-R LM wasn't just about looks, it had the muscle to back it up. At its core was the legendary RB26DET inline-6 engine, a 2.5-liter twin turbocharged beast, capable of producing around 305 horsepower at 6,500 RPM and 275 pound-feet of torque at 4,500 RPM. While the race version could churn out 440 horsepower, the street-legal variant was detuned for the sake of compliance. But don't let numbers fool you. This car was no slouch. The R33 GT-R LM weighed 3,483 pounds, with a 5-speed manual transmission that offered an old-school mechanical feel. The ride height was increased for road use, smaller tires were added, and the interior was reworked to mimic the standard R33 GT-R. On the track, the R33 GT-R LM was a monster. The 0 to 60 mph sprint took just over 4 seconds, and it could complete the quarter mile in the low 11s. Its top speed exceeded 140 mph, a remarkable feat for a road-legal special. Today, the R33 GT-R LM sits in the hallowed halls of Nissan's Zama DNA Garage, a private museum that houses the brand's most important cars. And when we say sits, we mean it. The car is essentially untouchable. It's said that even former Nissan chairman Carlos Ghosn was never allowed to sit in the driver's seat. The car is a piece of history, preserved like a rare artifact, and while it may never roar to life again, its legacy is undeniable.
DM, Japanese domestic market car. This was, what...
The R33 GT-R LM is more than just the rarest GT-R. It's a testament to what happens when passion meets engineering. It represents a bygone era where car makers would push boundaries, break rules, and create machines not for profit, but for glory. Unlike other rare GT-Rs, such as the GT-R50 by Ital Design or the limited edition Nismo variants, this car is truly unattainable. No amount of money can buy it, and no collector will ever get the chance to own it. It stands as a ghost of Nissan's golden era.
In a garage, no one, even the president of Nissan, Carlos Ghosn, was allowed to drive.
A reminder of the time when the brand would take on the likes of Porsche at Le Mans. While the R33 GT-R LM never claimed victory on the track, it has achieved something even more remarkable: immortality. The 1995 Nissan R33 GT-R LM is not just the rarest GT-R ever made. It's a myth made metal. It embodies everything that makes the GT-R name legendary: innovation, audacity, and an unyielding desire to win. The R33 GT-R LM is the ultimate what-if story for car enthusiasts. What if Nissan had continued to push for Le Mans' glory? What if the R33 GT-R LM had been unleashed on public roads? We'll never truly know, but perhaps that's part of its allure. This car is a mystery, a legend, and a reminder of what makes the world of automobiles so endlessly fascinating. And as long as the GT-R name exists, so too will the story of the R33 GT-R LM, the rarest, most mysterious Godzilla of them all.
It totally makes the 33 look